These are the moors. This is Ymignaint, which is a fantastic place. And behind me is Llyn Conwy, which is the start of Afon Conwy. I'm Dewi Davies and I work for the National Trust on the Upper Conwy Catchment project. The Upper Conwy Catchment project covers a vast area of landscape and it's predominantly focused around Afon Conwy. But the Afon Conwy is joined then by several other rivers as it makes its journey towards the sea. Wildlife is suffering a massive decline. According to the State of Nature report, 60% of all species have declined in the last 50 years in the UK. We, the National Trust, are aiming to halt this decline and even reverse this decline. We will halt this decline in nature by applying the Lawton principles, that our special habitats should be bigger, better, more of them and more joined up. The Upper Conwy Catchment in North Wales is a good example of how we can work on our own land and beyond our boundaries in partnership with like-minded people. Yma yn yr ucheldir, da ni'n neud llawer o bethau I helpu bywyd gwyllt a pobl ac hefyd I leihau problema islawr yn y Dalgylch. Mae yna esiampl dda os edrychwn I acw. Be sy'n edrych fatha cyfres o grisiau mynd I fyny'r llethyr ydy mewn gwirionedd cyfres o argeia sy'n cau ffosydd. Y ffosydd yma gath I tyllu fewn yn y gorffennol mwyn sychu'r rhostir yma. Dewch a ni weld be mae un o'r argeia ma'n edrych fel. Dwi'n sefyll yn fan hyn yn y ffos yma, ond sy'n ni wedi bod yn sefyll yn fan hyn 5 mlynedd yn ôl, sy'n ni wedi bod fyny at yngluniau. Mae dal yn lyb, ond ers I ni roed yr argeia yma fewn, da ni wedi cau'r ffos, a mae wedi gwneud byd o wahaniaeth. By blocking up these ditches, we're locking away the carbon, we're improving the water quality downstream, we are slowing the rate of flow of the water so there's a decrease in flash flooding downstream, and also we're improving the quality of the habitats in the surrounding area so the blanket bog is re-wetting. This is an example of practical action that we've taken on the ground for the sake of the golden plover. The golden plover is an upland wading bird that loves a bit of dense vegetation but also this short cropped vegetation. So here we've actually mown the heather and the other vegetation to get it to a low point so it would help with breeding and feeding for the golden plover. Mae fama'n le perffaith i'r gylfinir. Mae o'n hoff iawn o'r tir glub brwynog I fagu yn y Gwanwyn, ond hefyd mae'n hoff iawn o'r porfa lle mae yna fwyd ar gael iddo fo tra mae o'n magu. Yn y gaea mae o'n symud I lawr i'r gwylodion wrth geg yr afon lle mae o'n treulio'r gaea yn bwydo fyna. Mae'r gylfinir angen ffarmio, yn wir mae o'n enghraifft berffaith o sut mae ffarmio a dyn yn gallu byw law yn llaw. In this part of the catchment, the Ysbyty estate, the National Trust looks after all of the woodlands. What we've got on the left is a conifer woodland, but we manage lots of good examples of broadleaf woodland across the estate as well. The reason the broadleaf woodland is better than a conifer plantation is because it supports more species, but it's also really good at slowing down the flow of water. I'm standing in a ditch, which is typical of something that you'd find next to a conifer plantation. And that's one of the problems really, is that a ditch is there to serve a purpose, which is to get the water away as quickly as you can. So the water rushes out of the catchment at this point. Be da ni isio ydi mwy o goed, bod nhw'n well ansawdd o goedlanna a bod y coedlanna yna yn cysylltu'n well efo'i gilydd hefyd. Be sgennym ni fan hyn ydi coridor o goed sy'n cysylltu un coedlan i'r llall, a mae o'n esiampl wych o cysylltu cynefin mwyn I rhywogaetha medru mynd o un i'r llall, a hefyd mae'n dda iawn I atal y pridd rhag gael I olchi ffwr. Farming in this part of the catchment is never going to be as productive as farming in the lowlands, but what we have here is a prime example of farming for wildlife and nature. This is the bee's knees in terms of high nature value farming. Mae'r bloda gwyllt bendigedig sgynnon ni fan hyn yma achos y ffordd mae'r ffarmwr wedi parhau efo'i dullia o edrych ar ôl y tir drwy defnyddio gwartheg a defaid yn yr ffordd iawn ac ar yr adeg iawn o'r flwyddyn. Mi fysa fo'n wych cael mwy o enghreifftiau o hyn a lot mwy o lefydd sy'n debyg I hyn ar hyd y tirlun ac ar hyd y Dalgylch. Fel da ni'n mynd lawr yr afon, mae'r tir a'r tirlun yn mynd yn llawer mwy ffrwythlon. Mae'r caea a'r gwrychoedd yn edrych fel clytwaith bendigedig yn erbyn yr gorwel. Ond yn wir, does am gymaint o hynny o fydd i natur yn yr tirlun yma. Ond bob hyn a hyn, mae yna ynys o obaith ar gyfer natur yn y tirlun. Fel yma ym Gerddi Bodnant, lle mae yna 2 weirglodd wedi cael ei adfer mwyn natur. We've travelled here to Dyffryn Mynbyr in another part of the catchment. Dyffryn Mynbyr Farm was made famous in Thomas Furbank's book, I Bought a Mountain. Yn yr un modd ar cae ffosydd ar y Mignaint, da ni wedi bod yn gwneud union yr un peth yn fan hyn am yr un rheswm yma. One of the main focus here is the Ffridd. Now the Ffridd is one of the most important habitats for wildlife we have in Wales. It's the part of the mountain between the mountain tops and the valley bottom. And here we're trying to restore by doing saber planting. Saber planting is a technique of planting saplings on steep-sided gullies, escaping the hungry jaws of sheep. The sapling is planted at an angle perpendicular to the slope, so when it grows it bends towards the sunlight, hence the name saber. Mae'r ardal yma yn bot mel I gerddwyr a mae'n hynod o boblogaidd I bobl ddod I fwynhau yr ardal a'r tirlun hardd yma. Fel rhan o'r brosiect, da ni'n mynd I uwchraddio y llwybr yma, fel bod ni'n creu cyswllt rhwng cymunedau Nant Gwynant, Nant Peris, ardal y Wyddfa a'r cymuned yn Capel Curig islaw. So here we are at the mouth of the mighty Conwy River on the suspension bridge built by Thomas Telford and restored by the National Trust. The suspension bridge is sandwiched between a modern road bridge on one side and a tubular railway bridge on the other. Under this bridge flows every single drop of water that has fallen in the upper catchment. We've followed Afon Conwy as it journeys down from Llyn Conwy through Betws y Coed, so it's joined by the Lledr and then the Llygwy lower down from Betws, and then it flows underneath the bridge at Llanrwst until it eventually ends up here and flows under the Conwy suspension bridge and out to sea. Actions that we take in the uplands can have a big and positive impact downstream, and by working on this grand scale, by showcasing best practice on our land and working with partners, we can halt the decline. If you'd like to know more about our work, the Conwy Catchment Project, or would like to contribute as a volunteer, please get in touch. Together we can make a big difference. Gyda'n gilydd gallwn wneud gwahaniaeth mawr.